Welcome back to my final chapter, windsurfing across the Irish Sea. In the first episode, I windsurfed from Scotland to Northern Ireland completely alone, landed at Ballywalter before taking the advice from a local fisherman in order to head south to reach Ardglass.
Yes!
In episode 2, I launched into a 20-knot southwesterly.
Oh man! Oh.
To make the 38-mile unsupported crossing to the Isle of Man, a beautiful island outside of the UK, with its Viking past and its own government, the oldest in the world.
That was way too windy.
The members of Peel Sailing Club were very welcoming on the night of my arrival, and Roger the Commodore kindly stored my kit. I'd been away sailing with friends, so it was 3 weeks later that I returned to the Isle of Man. Except this time, there was a big difference. I didn't know where I was going, England, Scotland, or even Wales. I just knew I had to get off this island before the autumn gales arrived.
Right, see it. It's been a very difficult start to the day, actually. Really difficult. Big swell, not a lot of wind from directly behind. Anyway, I'm leaving the Isle of Man to find new things and a lovely farewell from John and Suzanne. Just trying to get my breath back here actually. I've done exactly 5.3 miles in the first hour. Yeah, not very quick, but very wobbly, very unstable. But what a lovely view. Look at that, sailing into a Turner painting. So that's the highest point of the Isle of Man, over 600 metres. Scafell, not to be confused with Scafell Pike. Scafell, well, I'm not going to try and spell it. Scafell, A-E, I think. And yeah, if you're feeling energetic, you can climb it, or the lazy man's option is to get a train. There's an old Victorian train, like a funicular that goes up to the top, which is quite fun. I didn't have time to do that. I'll do it another time. And then from the top, you can see the seven heavens. You can see Scotland, Ireland, England, Wales, Isle of Man, the heavens themselves, the sky, and of course the sea. So there you go. I really would like to get round this headland rather than landing here. And I've also just remembered that I forgot to put sun cream on. But I'd rather not stop. It's going to be quite a bit of shore dump up here, because it's much more onshore than cross shore. Anyway, let's try and get round this headland and then work out what to do. There we go, let's go. Ah yes.
The forecast for the day had been force 5 from the west-southwest at the point when I'd booked my flight and took off from Gatwick the previous day. But I was a little concerned to be able to see white horses from the aircraft, and when I landed and updated the forecast, it looked to be more like a force 6. There was a big front coming in from the Atlantic, so really anything was possible, and it was all sheer guesswork.
Right, I tacked here specifically to try to get a nice photo or video of the church on the cliff. Let's see whether you can see this. Absolutely stunning. I hope you can see that. It looks absolutely beautiful with the hills behind. Anyway, I'm getting around the headland now. I've been looking at that headland for 2 hours and I've done 13 miles in 2 hours. All good.
It doesn't look like you can see the church at all, so let's go back to Peel and see the sights there instead.
So I've got a couple of options today. One is to go to Scotland, although I didn't pack my kilt. And the other is to try to make it back to my homeland of England, which is, well, that's a mission. They're both missions, so we'll just have to see. At the moment, I'm just getting down to the point of air, the northernmost point of the Isle of Man, which is about 25 miles as the crow flies from Peel, where I started, but I'm having to zigzag downwind.
I had been very specifically warned not to go around the point of air by the sailors at the sailing club. But you may also remember Graham from episode 2. After meeting him on the slipway at Peel, I saw him and Claire for a drink later on their boat. And being a windsurfer himself, I knew he understood how little I draw with a 50cm fin, and how I could hug the coast to avoid the overfalls that stack up further off the point of air and potentially make it back to England. Well, you know these guys from earlier. If I get in the shot, oh, it's a lot of effort. Graham and Claire on their beautiful westerly... Fulmar. Yeah. Amazing, lovely. I just bumped into them outside the Chinese. That's incredible. And yeah, so spots. So you go.
So if you're going up the top, and you go around the point of air, then if you don't want to carry straight on, you can drop like 10 mile down and get into Ramsey.
Nice. Okay.
So you come back, but from Ramsey, it lends itself to go straight across from there to Ravenglass.
But Ramsey's like civilization and...
Yeah, Ramsey's bigger than Peel.
Oh really? So it's like, you reckon there's a marina and...
No, it's not a marina in Ramsey.
Like a harbour,
it's a harbour, and it's tidal. You get in maybe, well, with a windsurfer, you'll get in at least 3.5 hours.
I did a recce there. I did the Google Man, drop the Google, the street view thing, and I was a bit put off by like the cliffs, you know, like low cliffs, but massive potential wind shadow.
If you're coming from the north, you won't get the wind shadow.
Okay, I've really made some progress now. I've done 18 miles in 2 hours 46, and Scotland has just come into view. Come on, this is great. And I think I'm going to go for Scotland rather than England, because the wind direction is far more favourable and I can do it on a beam reach. So I've just been out to test the angle, and now I'm going to put the camera on the other boom, so I'll be on a port tack for the crossing. This is great. So this is what Scotland looks like from the Isle of Man. There it is. Right, off we go again. Off to Scotland, body Scotland. Aye. If I can see it, yes, there it is. There is sweet, sweet Scotland. There it is, there's Scotland. The psychological difference in being able to see the target is incredible. Unlike when I was going to the Isle of Man when I couldn't see it. Right, here we go. I've got one tanker below me, quite a way away, but I'll keep an eye on it. Let's see how we go. So I'm currently at 4 minutes 27 degrees west, and I need to essentially lose ground and go downwind and get to 21 degrees. to make Whitehorn Sailing Club. That's where I'm after. I keep losing sight of Scotland, so I need to concentrate and try and hold a line. Anyway, let's get cracking. I'm just keen to be off this island now. Goodbye, Isle of Man. It's been great. Absolutely amazing. It's very hard to tell where in Scotland I'm actually pointing at, because I need somewhere I can land that's not just cliffs. I sense I need to bear away. Let's do that for a bit. I'll just go as far away from the wind as I can. That's always a good passage plan.
You can see the wild variation of speed on this leg as I get pushed northwards by the waves. I was rather hopeful saying it would be a beam reach heading to Scotland. In fact, it turned out to be a very wobbly downwind ride.
I think it's about 20 miles. I haven't actually checked, but maybe 25 from here to Scotland. Also, I've got to give a very special shout out to Rowena. Thank you very much for having me back at the hotel. It's the classic motorcycling rally this weekend, so absolutely no accommodation anywhere at all. In theory, the tide should be slack at the bottom of the tide. Tide was pretty much out at the point of Ayr, on the northernmost point of Isle of Man, but I think it's going to come in. And it comes in basically into the Irish Sea, so it comes south in the northern Irish Sea and north in the southern Irish Sea. I think I've said that the correct way around. And here, between the Isle of Man and Scotland, I believe it's east going when it's coming in. So travelling in towards Liverpool. We'll soon find out. I would like it to be east going, so then I don't have as much wind over tide, and the wind is going with the tide, which flattens out the sea, of course. At this stage, I've just got to deal with what I've got. Seems okay for now. So Scafell Pike, the highest point in England, in the Lake District, over 900 metres I think, is nowhere to be seen. So I'm very pleased with my decision to come to Scotland. Yeah, it's probably a lot safer, much better wind direction. England is directly downwind, which is no joke. I'm gaining ground eastward by tiny increments, which is what I need to do in order to hit 4 degrees west, 21 minutes. I'm currently at 4 degrees west, 24 minutes. My name is William Wallace. They can take our land, but they can never take our freedom! Oh! distracted. I need to finish the job. Come on, Henry. Entertaining myself. Aye. Wow, the view of the hills of Galloway ahead are just opening up. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. With the light just shining on them. I'll take the high road and you take the low road, and we'll be in Scotland before you. Yo! I will be really happy if I can land at the Isle of Whitehorn. Obviously I'm not fussy as long as it's terra firma, but there's a sailing club there which would be very convenient to store the kit. I probably shouldn't be thinking about this already because I'm still about 8 miles offshore looking at it, but that would be ideal and very satisfying to absolutely hit the bullseye. Anyway, I'm telling you now so I can't make it up afterwards saying I meant to land here. I did mean to land on the Isle of Whitehorn. So let's see if I can do it. The problem with the Isle of Whitehorn is the whole thing faces south-east. So from the south or southwest, I can't see it at all. I'm nearly in line with the longitude I need to be, which is all good. But yeah, no sign of it yet. So I'm heading well upwind and up tide of the target. If this was a day skipper yachting course, I'd have my course to steer out. I'd be talking about the deviation. Well, it's not that one, it's not the Radio 4 just a minute, deviation, repetition, and the other one. It's deviation from the magnetic compass of the yacht. But the main thing is on a windsurf board, leaving huge leeway in a swell like this to allow myself to be pushed downwind, allow a buffer basically, and the wind is going with the tide, so that's even more the case. So I'm going to be pushed north, and right now, rather disconcertingly, I'm pointing at cliffs. So I'm pointing at the cliffs, but I do believe the tide will take me north and hopefully into the beautiful Isle of Whitehorn. Way! I'm definitely building this place up. Land will be good. I'm not totally maxed out, but shaking out the lactic acid from my arms. The wind just comes and goes.
Although I had no one to meet me in Scotland, I had felt very supported on this leg. You may have spotted John and Suzanne in Peel when I launched. They were kindly tracking me all the way and had got up at 6:30 in the morning to wave me off at the beach. We had met in the sailing club 3 weeks earlier on my first landing in the Isle of Man and set me up for my third leg to Scotland with some of John's home-brewed beer.
Okay, I'm here with Suzanne.
Hi.
And John over here. And we are back on the Isle of Man. These guys have incredibly kindly picked me up from the airport and brought me back to Peel, back to the Isle of Man. And we're just about to sample John's fine homemade beers here. Perfect for the eve of a sail, isn't it? So this is the, see if I can repeat what you've just said. Pink grapefruit IPA.
Yeah. And what's that one?
You had some other knowledge on that one?
Well, it's got citrusy sort of hops in it.
Homemade.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it won't taste homemade. It'll taste nice, believe me.
Some?
Yeah, I'm not drinking this. This is your second one.
Oh, right.
This is a different beer.
And what a great decision to come to Scotland. Ah, I'm so excited. Ah, this final third has not been easy, and the land just does not seem to be getting any closer. Ah, come on. It's getting pretty frustrating. I don't know whether the tide's working with me or against me or what. It just... I mean, this is really where the watch is critical to know that I'm making forward progress. And I've got a good line, just need the wind to hold, get around these cliffs. I've been looking at those cliffs for far too long, honestly. Feels like an eternity. Right, the rain's coming. Here it is.
Then be willing to change the plan. But with rain, you're not going to have much visibility.
No.
Very long time.
No. Wow, I might get there just in time. The land will disappear. Welcome to Scotland. Scottish weather greeting me. Nah, come on. We got rocks, we got lobster pots, we got swell. And there's the lighthouse. I'm in. I'm in. Well, there's a slipway right there. I might go for that and get out while the going's good.